Infernal Blessings. We are back with another video. Alright, before we begin, a couple quick announcements. If you are interested in a spiritual reading or a spiritual consultation, the different type of readings I offer, Klepothic demonic readings, Egyptian oracle readings, which that's been a reading over the last year that has grown tremendously. A lot of people are requesting Egyptian oracle readings. It is a very good system of divination to get a lot of answers to certain questions you may have. So I do offer Egyptian oracle readings, Santa Muerte readings, spirits of the dead, deity readings to see what kind of spirits, gods, goddesses, and demons walk with you, not to worship them, but to strengthen your path and your connection with the spirits on the path to self-mastery. Shadow work reading, which we always should be continuously doing shadow work, improving ourselves. Shadow work reading is a great reading if you're looking for a direction. Sometimes people always say, I don't know what direction I should be going into, this, that, or the other. Sometimes a shadow work reading can point you in the right direction. It uncovers stuff about yourself that maybe you didn't think was affecting your spiritual path on a subconscious level. That's always a great reading to do at any time. And maybe you're just interested in a spiritual consultation where maybe you want to focus on a particular area of study. Maybe you got questions about the path, or maybe you're a beginner and maybe you need guidance. That's what a consultation's for, to get guidance, to get information. I also want to stress, the spiritual consultation is not a reading. Sometimes people get the two confused. They're two totally different things. So shoot me an email, specify which one you're interested in, and also include a full spectrum of your availability. I'm not even going to say beyond a week. Just give me at least a weekly, the 7-day-a-week availability that you have, and the days and times that you're available, and the time, and and the time zone that you're in. Very critical and important. Plus, it helps speed up the process. We don't have to do the back and forth email. And then I can tell you what I have that fits your schedule, and we can go from there. Also, mark your calendars as we start to slowly but surely, midpoint of February going into March. Man, time flies when you're having fun, as they say. Again, mark your calendars. October, either the 3rd or the 4th week in October, I'll have an exact date for the 7th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference. It's definitely the 3rd or the 4th week in October. That will take place again in Hollywood, Florida, right here at Cultural Expressions, where we've done it the last few years. Right in the heart of downtown Hollywood, Florida. As I said, some of you guys that have been here, some of you big guys have been here every year. It's a great location, access to hotels, Airbnbs. It's minutes from the beach, restaurants. Some people come and Uber it the whole time they're here. They don't even rent a car. You don't really have to, because the venue is 15 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, not even from the Fort Lauderdale International Airport. So mark your calendars. Definitely 3rd, 4th week in October. 7th annual Journey of the Black Adept Conference. We have thrown some things around. It's very early yet, but more on that to come as we navigate later through the year. Also, if you want to sign up for classes, the way to do that is to go to the official Primordial Chaos Patreon page, patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, tier 3. That's going to give you access to the 3 private classes I do every month on Patreon, in addition to the group ritual we do at the end of the month. Also, keep in mind when you join, it doesn't just give you access from the day you join moving forward. You get everything in the archives going 4+ years back. Plus, you get access to all the ritual work and the group work that we do in the classes. I have a bunch of ongoing series that I'm continuously adding classes to them. Check out the page, go to the collection section, and you'll see everything is labeled, archived in numerical order. So you could take the classes also in your own time when you can't get there live. Obviously, we encourage, come to the live classes when you're on Patreon if you can. Schedule permits, you can ask me direct questions, interact with me and everybody else in the class. But again, if you want to take your path to self-mastery to that next level, you really want to up step it a notch and you really want to be on this path and be about the work, that's kind of what you want to take a look at. Patreon.com/Baniti, Baniti, Tier 3. There are some mentorship programs on there. I only take serious students for the Red Magus program. It is a bit full right now, so I'm only taking select people at the moment. It has to be the right fit. So if you look at the mentorship programs, look, I don't want to waste your time, don't waste my time. It's about putting in that work. All right, that's the investment. It's not just the money that you pay for the monthly fee. It's the investment. Can you invest your time and your energy? All right. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram, Primordial Chaos 9, one word. Facebook, Primordial Chaos, 2 words. And yes, we are up and running on TikTok. Check out Primordial Chaos on TikTok, 2 words there. Where I'm slowly but surely, we're getting content on there. The page is starting to grow day by day. It's going to get there. It's a work in progress, but it's up and running. Some of you guys have subscribed. I've encouraged all my Instagram subscribers, YouTube subscribers, go over there and subscribe to the TikTok. Let's get that page up and running. And let's get that page, that algorithm out there. All right, don't forget to check out the Primordial Chaos podcast, available on Spotify and all major podcast platforms. The direct link to the podcast, my contact email address to set up a reading or a consultation, and the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes is in the description box of this video. All right, you see the title, You Are the Living Altar. I can't stress enough, people, okay? When I say your life is a ritual in its entirety, it is. Your whole life is a magical ritual. That's what makes you the living altar, okay? So before I talk about it, let me talk about that concept. As I said before, look, I love altars. I love the power when you activate an altar. I love a lot of the traditional aspects with altar work and imagery connected to very ancient and traditional sorcery and black magic. I'm very into that. But as I said before, those are just focal points or vessels that you use as visuals, because imagery is very powerful when you tap into it, that assist you in enhancing the power of your magic. But as I said before, the power of your magic doesn't come from your altar. The power of your magic doesn't come from your ritual tools. Okay, the power of your magic doesn't come from the imagery on your altar. It starts within you. So for an example, when you're setting up an altar and you have, say, magical tools and you're cleansing your magical tools and you're charging your ritual items on, yes, you're invoking a certain entity, archetype, or power per se. I'm just, saying depending on what you're working with. But if your power is not strong, where you've raised your spiritual vibration and vibrational frequency to connect with whatever archetype, demon, spirit, god, or goddess you're trying to connect with, then that charging right's going to be very weak. You have to look at yourself as the conductor, right? That the energy facilitates through when you're working magic. So when you're looking at your altar, I say it's a vessel because it's something you can look upon and draw energy from within yourself to increase your spiritual power, your vibrational frequency. But at the end of the day, the power that you're looking for to achieve results, that comes from you. So the problem that we have to be very cautious of when we're doing different types of magic, whether it's charging rites, whether it's destructive magic, whether we're trying to open roads and pathways to success, or we're trying to make order out of chaos on a multitude of levels, right? It starts from the power within the mind first. Your magic is only going to be as powerful and as solid and as strong as your mind is. You cannot work effective magic if you have a very toxic, weak mind that does not produce the vibrational frequency that you need to achieve your results. Now, why I say you're the living altar, because you're going to find out when you are consistent in doing your work and when you have obtain that certain vibrational frequency where you're locked in, as they say, to use terminology you can relate to. You know, it's like the athlete that says when he's playing whatever sport, you know, it could be shooting jump shots and threes and say, man, I'm locked in, I'm in a rhythm, right? I'm feeling it, right? We hear these terms in sports to my sports fans, right? Even if you're not a sports fan, you can understand. Maybe you're working on something, you're doing something, a project, a task, or maybe you're participating in a hobby or a skill you like. You start to really enjoy it. You start to really feed off of the energy of it when you're locked in, and then you're rolling. You've hit that vibrational frequency. That's the magic itself, people. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. When you've hit that level, you are now the living altar. Because from you, all the magical energy and power you need is now being manifested or created. And you have the ability to tap into it. This is why you've heard me say many times over the years, especially in regards to myself, it just seems like sometimes, not in a spooky way, because I always tried to keep people grounded in reality and to stay harmonized between your objective conscious and objective world and your subjective conscious and your subjective world. It just seems like things get done with little or minimal effort. Not because some unforeseen spooky spirit force is handling all that for you, but you're so locked in, you've broken the false illusion of linear time. It seems like that doesn't exist anymore. It seems like you're not confounded or restricted to things that would normally hold you back in the past. And it just seems like tasks are getting done. Doors are opening. Opportunities come your way. You're being blessed financially with money and prosperity. You're able to do the things you want to do. And sometimes you don't even stop and you're thinking, like, how's all this happening? And you just kind of roll with it. You don't really 100%. You're so caught up in the vibrational frequency of it, you're not too much caught up in stopping and kind of killing that vibrational frequency and rhythm. You're more locked in and you're caught up in the now or the moment. Okay? It's not that things are spooky things are happening and there's spooky unforeseen spirit forces opening the doors. You're so locked in that you've created a vibrational frequency that whatever barrier comes your way, you're able to work your way right through it. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be obstacles, challenges, because that's life in general. Yeah, you'll have your personal problems here and there. Whatever that may be, family, relationship, money, right? You'll have your moments where you're not feeling the best physically, right? Look, I just want to make this clear, because sometimes people think being on this path that you're nothing ever happens to you. Yes, you get the normal things in life will happen. You will sometimes feel ill or sick or go through moments where you're not feeling the best you're feeling, right? That's just life, right? If you're in a marriage, a relationship, you're gonna have your tit for tat, your arguments, your fussing, your fighting, your disagreements. Any relationship that doesn't is, or anybody that claims they don't, it's bullshit. You're full of shit. Because you're gonna be dealing with, that's just life. No relationship is perfect and nobody's life is 100% perfect. Okay, but those things don't arise in your life to the point where they cause problems and issues, where they consume you, control your life, and put you in a constant situation where you're just not successful. So you are the vessel. You are the living altar that produces the power of your magic and how it manifests. So now you might be asking yourself a question. Well, if I'm doing a ritual with deity, spirit, or demon, and I'm invoking Lucifer, right? Is not Lucifer answering my call? Is not Lucifer the one doing the work? I'm just using that as an example. And the answer to the question is yes and no. I know you guys don't like when I say it. They say, damn, every time Baniti poses a rhetorical question, why does this motherfucker always say yes and no? Damn it, can't he just pick one? I'm saying yes or no because there's two facets to that answer to questions like that. No, in the sense, no, Lucifer is not doing it, from that religious, oh, Lucifer, please help me, art thou. And like I said, don't bargain with spirits, especially demons. Do not bargain with them. I know motherfuckers like to, if you do this for me, I promise. Don't do that shit. I'm just telling you. But the reason why I say yes and no, Lucifer is not solely, and we're using that as the example in this question. It could be any deity. Lucifer is not doing anything for you. So then what happens? First of all, if your vibrational frequency isn't in alignment with Lucifer, you can't connect with the Lucifer energy so you can absorb that power to make it work for you. So you have to be in a certain state of mind, and you have to be open and receptive to receive the vibrational frequency energy of what we would call the spirit or demon of Lucifer, which is a lot of power. Same thing with Set. Set is a very strong energy that, in my opinion, not everybody's in sound mind, body, and spirit to receive. Remember, as I've said before, our goal is to embody and become what the spirits, gods, goddesses, and demons are, not worship them. So if we are to embody and become what they are, we also have to be a vessel to be receptive to harness their power and energy. So that's why I say the answer to that question is yes and no. If you are in a state where you're prepared to receive the Lucifer energy, then Lucifer works through you and with you. Not some unforeseen spooky force, say in monotheistic schools of thought like Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, where you're getting down on the floor, kneeling down, or bowing and groveling and prostrating and begging some sky daddy to answer your prayers. No. And for people that do that, you might think it's some sky daddy answering your prayers. Sometimes when you have such a strong conviction, and they'll call it faith, they think it's faith in the unforeseen. No, it's your inner power and determination. Even if you're religious and you think your prayers are being answered by a sky daddy, they're really not. You're putting so much mental power, focus, and energy in your prayer. You're the one manifesting that, not a sky daddy. I know through your faith and belief system you want to think it is, or maybe you think it's Jesus, this, that, or the other. It's not. But I'm not going to sit here and try to convince anybody that's religious of that, because it's pointless. But I'm trying to use that too as an example to show how powerful of a vessel, of a magical altar, a tool we are. And we are the conductors. That's what it means when I talk about that you are the El-Kupt, right? In Sufism, the center of your universe, or universes, or multiverses. When you are El-Kupt in the center of your axis, as they teach in ancient Sufism. I think I might do a video on Sufism. I'm sorry, Spirit be talking to me sometimes when I'm doing videos and shit. But anyway, you are the center of your axis. And when everything is evolving around you, that's when you're in control. That's when the vibrational frequency and energy is working for you. That's when things, all the things I just talked about a few minutes ago, doors seem to open for you. Everything seems to be going right. And even when problems and bullshit comes, it just doesn't seem to be on the level that it used to be when you weren't, a practitioner, or you didn't have the knowledge you had prior to being on this path. And it seems like shit that used to bother you or was a big deal just doesn't faze you like that no more. And it seems like you're able to handle adversity more smoother. Because believe me, I'm telling you, problems will come. Chaos finds its way into your life. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But when you are locked into this vibrational frequency as the living altar, you are prepared for when that adversity comes. You are like the spiritual warrior with your armor ready to go into battle and squash that shit before it becomes even a bigger problem. Okay? That's the difference. So this is what I mean when I say you are the living altar. Because from you produces the power of your magic, not from anything outside of yourself. Understand that when you're working at your altar and with your ritual tools, which are charged with your power. So they're only as powerful as you are. Okay? And yes, both serve a purpose. Now, as I also said over the years and done videos and mentioned this in classes, 100% we should also have the ability to do magic through our minds creating an astral altar. Because again, that's linked into the power of your mind. Okay? So all of these things are connected to you. It all comes back to you. That's never going to change. Okay? We need to be focused on, and that's what makes this path, again, so different from any other spiritual system out there. Because you're not solely relying on external forces for your salvation. See, that's the problem with religions of servitude. Because you have a mindset that you're always looking for something or somebody to do it for you. You think if you grovel and if you just send prayer out there into Spookyville, that your prayers are going to be answered. Now, you might be watching this video and say, well, I do that and my prayers aren't. Like I said a few minutes ago, you might think it's some sky daddy or some spook spirit force doing it, but it's not. It's you. It's your power to so strongly want it that you attribute it to some spook daddy, spook god or sky daddy that you feel, is answering your prayers. And that's fine, whatever. But I'm trying to tell you, even that concept of faith in religion, when they tell you gotta have faith, if you have strong faith, God will answer your prayers. So right out the gate, they're programming you to think it's some spirit spook force outside of yourself that's doing the work, but it's the power of your mind to want it so bad, to put so much energy on it. Somebody that prays so intently, I was praying with every ounce of my blood, sweat, and tears, and every aspect of my soul. Think about it. Listen to that for a second. And I'm sure you've heard Christians say that. And I was praying so hard, I put my soul in it, and the Lord answered my prayers. No, you answered your prayers. I know you want to attribute it to some sky daddy. I get it. But it was you. You wanted it so much that through that power of going into the core and the depth of your soul, you changed the vibrational frequency within yourself, which changed the vibrational frequency in your objective world. And then the path was cleared in order for you to get what it is you were trying to obtain, the results. People don't understand the power of the mind, the power of thoughts. Very powerful, okay? And it's one of our biggest weapons and tools on the left-hand path in the occult, because it's what fuels your magic. And it's what fuels you as that vessel or living altar, as a living manifestation of that magic. Okay? So we've got to get this locked in our minds, people. We got to get this understanding. If you have this approach in your study, in your meditation, at your altar when you're doing spiritual work, you'll get a better understanding of this. Okay, I'm gonna do, maybe not today, but the next video I will do, how your whole life is a ritual, kind of maybe piggyback off this, right? That's what I mean when I say this is not a religion, people. It's a way of life. It's a religion in the sense only that if you had to identify to somebody what's your spiritual path, because some people need that. Yes, from a freedom of speech and religion perspective, yes, it is your religion in that sense, because it's your spiritual right? You have a right to freedom of religion, freedom of speech. So in that sense, yes. But this is so much more than what we would call a religion. It's a way of life. So you're living that life when you understand this concept that you are the living altar of magic. That's how you know you're living. It's a way of life. You're living this path. You're breathing shit, sleeping this shit 24/7. It's a part of you. This path becomes a very part of you. It's in every fabric of your DNA and RNA. You eat, breathe, and shit this path 24/7. It's a way of life. You make conscious decisions throughout the course of your life based on your understanding and your wisdom. And you draw from that power and wisdom to become the best person that you can be. Okay? So this is a way of life. Okay? You can only live that life again if you become the power and the magic of being that living altar. All right? All right. So having said that, it's going to wrap this video up. I got stuff to do. So I'm going to get to where I got to get to here. 9 rounds. Get it in. If you need to reach out to me for a spiritual reading or a consultation, my contact email address, along with the direct link to the Primordial Chaos podcast, along with the links for the social media pages, Primordial Chaos on Facebook, 2 words, Primordial Chaos 9 on Instagram, 1 word, Primordial Chaos on TikTok. Also, the direct link to the Primordial Chaos Patreon page to sign up for classes. Check out the Patreon page if you want to get in on the classes. 3 a month. I do every month, along with the group ritual. I have a ton of archive on it. Again, I go in on the Patreon page on a level way beyond than I do here on open platforms like YouTube, Facebook, etc. So check that out. All of those links, my contact email, everything you need to do to reach out to me and get a part of what I'm doing here at Primordial Chaos is in the description box of this video. All right? I'll talk to you guys soon. Infernal blessings. I'm out of here.